inspiration. Anyone can rise. That inspiration proved women's limitless potential in esports as Turkey's women's tournaments rose and Cambodia's Queen League shined. From the Snapdragon Pro Series to the Oppo Smooth Legend Cup, this journey leads us toward one mission: esports for everyone. As MLBB evolved, renowned organizations joined the family. A platform that shaped champions. A platform that shaped champions. A platform that shaped champions. A platform. A global name.
So, what's next? Are we looking forward to the future?
Let's go.
Years of MLB.
Kemarin dipakai juga sama Domain, kayaknya enggak bisa jadi enggak deh. Yang pasti Aik main jungle tank aja.
World together a $3.5 million prize pool, massive arenas, global stage. The ENC begins, connecting international regions into a stronger competitive ecosystem. MLBB steps onto the world sporting stage at the 2026 Asian Games in Nagoya. The year unfolds by the master plan, a global calendar. Continues with ENC and a global calendar takes shape. We kick in with M7 in January. MPL runs March to June, then August to champions gather across EECA, where dark horses rise to challenge kings. From EMEA, new forces, new contenders. East Asia, waves of new faces. Across AMER, North and South America united, returning with even greater expansion. In 2026, the MLBB Championship Tour will kick off with these three regions: Americas, East Asia, and Southeast Asia. MLBB has risen beyond borders. Three regions: Americas,
This is what
East Asia, and South.
Chat, why do my mods ban people and they don't tell me anything? Like, I gave you power for that, but they don't tell me.
Yo, they said something about NA. I think they're gonna be back again.
On the world stage.
When did I miss that?
North and South America united, returning with even greater expansion.
Wait.
North and South
North and South America.
Across AMER.
Bro,
North
you
and
have not
South
time
America
forward,
united,
I'm so ahead of you.
No, I went back.
returning with even greater expansion. In 2026,
Okay, let's see this
the
Chinese
MLBB Championship Tour will kick off with these three regions: Americas, East Asia, and Southeast Asia.
They said North America. That could include Latam countries too. What's that called? Amer?
Here? Wait, hold on.
Bro.
He is Chinese. He's not the host. He's not the host though. Wait, it's happening in Turkey?
Yo.
What up, Haj?
Yo, what's good, Haju?
Hello, my friends. How are you doing today?
Yo, MA is happening in Turkey.
Held in Thailand in 2027.
Nice.
MA is gonna be in Turkey. Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, Mr. Where are you gonna go?
Now, let us
I don't know, bro.
turn
It's far from
our
me.
eyes onto the
Is
stage.
it? Oh, I thought it was close.
Our last M Series 1 was so disappointing. We felt the pain of an early exit.
There was only one thing on my mind when we left. Redemption.
Apa yang dulu hanya mimpi, kini bukan lagi sekedar mimpi.
Kami datang ke sini menyerahkan segalanya pada takdir dan keberuntungan.
tanpa adanya ekspektasi, hanya membawa satu hal, harapan dan mimpi Indonesia.
Reaching M7 was only the beginning.
This M7 is unforgiving. More ruthless, more intense than ever. From the Swiss stage through the knockouts, they earned their place here.
Napalaking bagay, pag nakuha namin yung championship ng 7, magtutuloy-tuloy yung winning streak ng Pilipinas.
Soalnya kan kita Indonesia selalu dianggap kayak kita di bawah Filipina kan. Mungkin kita akan mengubah statement itu sih.
Kita juga udah jadi tuan rumah di Indonesia dan aku pengen bawa Trigo dan bawa Indonesia ada di Piala Dunia lagi.
Since day one, every team came here with a shared dream. Many dreams were shattered, but not their will.
I think the player that failed the most in MLBB is me.
Whenever I lose, I strive to do better. It's what keeps me going.
We wanted to bring Malaysia's name really on top for
ကိုယ်နိုင်ငံလည်းချုံမြတက်တဲ့ feeling ကကြတော့တိတ်ငါနဲ့မှတိတ်လဲလို့မရဘူး feeling ကရန်
The fire in our players to win an M series won't fade.
The final two carried battle forward onto the grand stage.
To rise as one and let the world see us. This time, we don't fall short. This time, we finish it.
Ini segalanya yang kami miliki. Inilah alasan kami bertarung.
Setiap rintangan menguji kami, namun tak satu pun menghentikan kami. Semuanya justru membuat kami lebih kuat.
Let's make the grand final interesting.
Yang pantas akan menjadi pemenang.
Let's put up a fight.
Tonight, we fight for the title.
let the world see the M7 World Championship Grand Final!
It is our honor to welcome Indonesian national team goalkeeper Nadio Agawinata as he represents the coach of both teams, Master of the Basics and Dexter of Aurora Gaming Philippines, as well as Zephyr and Sticks of Alter Ego Esports alongside our head referee, Gary. We assure you that the M7 Grand Final will be conducted with the highest standards of professionalism and fairness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, both finalists are on the stage. Are you ready? And now, let the Grand Finals begin!
Good luck to both our competitors up on the stage. Through blood, sweat, and tears, they are here to represent for one goal and one goal only.
No matter what happens today, the storyline will be good. It's Aurora trying to escape the allegations that has been given to them. They were called chokers so many times, but this time they have another chance to prove it in the grandest of stages, the world of MLBB.
Again, thank you our casters for the introduction. Here it is again, Edward, Demon Kai, UA Light, as well as Domin Kai. These are names you heard so many times, but again, they haven't become the champions of the world just yet. We'll see this time, can they finally do it?
Mr. Consistent looks like he's trying to change it all. 100% win rate on Yuzong, Arlet, Sora, a whopping win rate for an upper bracket run.
And then you're looking at Demon Kai, who has really varied choices of his junglers. 80% win rate when it comes to Fredrin, as he played it 6 times, but 100% win rate when it comes to the Baxia. And then you have your Akai that he picks up, only picked up 1 time, but actually won with it because it was really good in the draft. Then you compare that to Domin Kai. Oh my goodness. Number 1, when it comes to kill participation among gold laners at 68.5%. It's like a quarter, like 3/4 of the time, he will always be in that fight.
And that's exactly what you want from the new and involved, improved Aurora Gaming PH. However, there are competitors on the other side. These guys make me lose words. Professor X gets into you. They know how to get underneath your skin with Nino, Yasuke, Hijime, Alec, and Arfi.
At this point, this is the Indonesians' hope. They are the Indonesian champions, man. The story that they bring. I gotta say, seeing Codell many times saying over and over and over how proud he is of these boys. And now they're here in the grand finals, 1 step away from bringing glory back to Indonesia.
There was a time when Nino was always doubted in the region, right? I was able to talk to some of the Indonesian players. Even Miracle said that there was a story where Nino was actually not even considered as one of the better players and all, like not even just ex-players, as players in general in MPL. But here he is, the darling of MPL Indonesia, the darling of MLBB in the world right now. Everybody's looking at him because how he performs so well. He's number 1 when it comes to the KDA, when it comes to kills, and GPM as the explainer. How about that?
This matchup has been predestined. We've been waiting for a moment like this where we see a grand finals. No champions involved, just runner-ups looking for the grandest prize.
And look at that, the trophy stands in front of them. All 10 players. They're gonna compete against their opponents, but the trophy is just there. It's close enough for you to reach. But again, for 5 of these players in front of them, 5 more players are gonna stop them, are gonna crush their dreams. This is gonna be a best of 7, and ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys vote in the chat. Who do you guys think will win game number 1 in this best of 7, man? I gotta say, I wanna see who has the more stamina, because Alter Ego yesterday, they showed they don't mind playing 8 games.
If there's one thing that we've learned about the meta so far, you win the early game and it's just pure oppression from two high caliber teams. A single mistake could flip the entire table on its head. But if this is a best of 7, I'm expecting some dominating matches, not only from AE, but also Aurora.
It's interesting that you said that, because my prediction for this particular series is that surely it will go long in a way that it will have like 6 or 7 games. But the games will be one-sided. And I'm only saying that because of the nature of the drafting right now. You saw how Alter Ego performed against SRG. And when they do nail that drafting, they make sure that they will win at the early stage of the game. And thus, you have, 12 and 14-minute games. And I think that is expected within the two of these teams, because I feel like their priority is to win in the early stages itself. So it's like they want to win in the first 5 minutes. That's why they will draft for lineups that will win in the first 5 minutes. That's why I think snowballing, because of the drafting pattern of both teams, will happen so many times in the series.
And honestly, that's why I feel like we're going to be impressed here, because I agree with you. The draft will dictate that the game will end early, maybe 11, 12 minutes, but we've seen the tenacity of many different teams here in M7. They'll figure out a way to delay the game all the way to 27. In fact, we had the longest game in M series history here in M7. So honestly, I'm looking forward to see, this draft should not go all the way to 20, 30 minutes, but I think both these teams can make it possible.
I think this is going to be an absolutely disgusting game of rock, paper, scissors in the draft, right? We saw the way that Aurora took on AE in the drafting phase. Yes, technically, we've seen many teams, if there's nothing wrong, don't fix it. And yet Aurora makes slight permutations, slight alterations to keep AE on their toes in a best of 5 series. Yet alone, we go into that best of 7. We've already seen AE push all the way to the edge. When Yasuke's got nothing left to play, he still has a pick in mind. And I think that Aurora is going to look to force him back into that corner.
We can really see that there's a lot of focus on the drafting of both teams. Then we also have to look at the execution of the players themselves. Nino and the gang, they have been on fire yesterday. They have been considered as a team that is inconsistent when it comes to closing out games. They will make some bad plays eventually, and that might cost them the game. But that is also very true for Aurora. I feel like, though, in the grand finals, especially because it's a best of 7 series and everything is literally on the line, both teams might be more conservative on how they approach this game. That's why maybe let's not expect both Alter Egos and Aurora to make those kind of mistakes. I think they will be more safe. Might mean that the games might be slow because of that, but I think that it's just that the teams that we have today will be so careful the way they play a game.
Let me just say M7 is the time of Leomord, because during the Swiss stage, it only won 3 times and then lost for 6. But here in the knockout stage, only losing 9 games but winning 13. The Freya is even more incredible during the Swiss stage. Unbeaten, 4 wins. And a knockout stage, 12 wins and 6 losses. This is why I love every iteration of tournament. The meta always changes. And here, having Leomord and Freya as well. Freya has been changed how many times and never been competitively viable. But now here she is.
It's strange, because when you asked us, when we were talking about this last year, where EXP felt dead, where it felt like an absolute brick wall, slight changes gave us a lot of hope for these damaged EXP laners. What I would have never imagined is when these fighters came back into the meta, through the jungle, through the gold lane. What a weird place we are in the world.
I think it's because the teams have tried to beat each other. It's like you implement this meta, for example. Let's say Freya Leomord. And then teams will just try to kind of defeat that by drafting. Maybe getting Esmeralda, for example. Or maybe getting a Sora in the gold lane eventually to fight that Freya whatsoever. Then eventually people who will try to outplay that Sora will get the Esmeralda or something. It's a cycle, The Valentina will be there. So there's just an evolution of picks in specific parts of the drafting stages.
Something that you can see, man, here in MLBB, the front lines will always be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into the first round of this grand finals, and it's gonna be Flying Clouds with Aurora Philippines first pick and Alter Ego in the second. And look at Alter Ego already going for those direct bans, banning on the Baxia and the Khalid. Aurora, amazing ban on that Freya, but this does not scream the Leomord first pick.
kind of does, but at the same time, we don't know where Aurora is going to put their priorities. At the same time, they can open up with a Sora if they wanted to, if AE lets it go. And at the same time, as much as I love the Leomord, one of the few matchups that I think that Leomord is great at specifically is when it's up against the Yi Shen. The timings is just so awkward for the YSS.
But the Jushin is open for Aurora, although there is an Eve that Alter Ego can pick. I think that most teams are just so comfortable picking up the Jushin, and Aurora is not a team that will pass up on that. However, with the Leomord being open, like I said, it could be the open here for Aurora. Now, that's the Jushin. The Alter Ego, they're that kind of team that when they ban the backshot, they know that you will get Uranus here. I think Leomord and Uranus is the opening for Alter Ego because they know that Lunox or any kind of Shredder, including the backshot, will no longer be available to counter that Uranus.
With that in mind, why not go for Esmeralda instead of the Uranus?
Well, they do have that kind of, they do have that variation. Sometimes they combo the Uranus with the Esmeralda, in fact. It actually happened before.
All right.
It's going to be, instead, this is a different iteration of the pattern of Alter Ego. This is what makes Zephyr really amazing because even with this kind of pattern that you already laid down, there is always a variation to it. Now, Aurora, that's immediately a Heron.
Wow, this is a really incredible read coming in from AE's side. Their own opener, knowing that they're expecting some sort of traditional marksman in the gold. You know what? Let's force you to at least take the Purify. But that does leave, a lot to be said. Fredrin, 100% win rate coming in from Demon Kai. Why would you let that through knowingly as AE locks in the Phobius?
Because they are prepared for it. They will pick up the Phobius to counteract the potential explainer coming out from Aurora because they will just ban out the counters to the Phobius. For example, the Esmeralda, or maybe pick that up. Oh no, they will not pick it up. And also because they know that it is also an answer to the Heron potentially. Phobius in the Expedite with the Kalea, and then maybe a Farsa as their fourth pick. It makes it so that their first turtle is so strong up against the Fredrin.
Now let's talk about the upcoming mid-trio, because I'm already seeing Cho getting banned out for the side of AE. The fact that they also got rid of the Khalid in the very first phase does give me an idea that AE want to fight for the mid lane somehow. They know that they could get Eve later down the line, but they've waited so long for it, allowing Aurora to potentially ban it.
Yeah, that's right.
Gentlemen, can I just say I'm very happy that we're opening up where both teams are kind of playing to their comfort, playing to their own play style, because Aurora, I would say 100% win against SRG when they go for utility jungle, and now Alter Ego. Even the first opening here, they're already showing the willingness to fight and picking up this Claude again, the pick that was able to beat Team Liquid Philippines.
Okay. Now, I'm actually not going to be surprised if the chip is going to be banned by Alter Ego. There it is. It's such a good ban because I think you would think that maybe the Hylas is a better ban or maybe a Badang because of their composition. But Aurora have shown that they are willing to pick up the chip. And with Fredrin, with Jushin, and Harith, you can easily activate those heroes, and chip will be a difficult matchup if ever they prefer. So this is a smart ban.
It's taking away multiple different angles to actually engage in these fights. And personally, for me, I think it's a better option because Hylos and as well as Gatot are very straightforward. They're kind of linear style of roamers in comparison to Chip and Cho.
Oh, they're forcing the Farsa, but Alter Ego might just go for Lunox here.
Honestly, even Farsa is not bad. Having that Kalia can kind of give you quite a lot of tempo in early. In fact, you don't even have to rush it, right? You can pick up your jungler, but if your jungler is going to be something that Zephyr really wants to surprise us again, you can just pick up your mid here. Either Farsa or Lunox works well because you have a Kalia.
Farsa is the safest option, obviously. Now, Aurora will not pick up the Yuuzhan anymore. I think they will just go for the Lapu-Lapu because it just makes sense, right?
So much safer.
So much safer, but you also have that option of the Esmeralda.
Oh wait, no, Arlet is still available.
Oh yeah.
But up against the Phobius?
Yeah, but against Farsa and Claude, right?
I think it boils down to the question, Edward, do you want to win the lane? Can we trust you enough to hold out in the lane till we get to the mid game where we can actually utilize you in bigger team fights?
Yeah, I think the Arlet, maybe the Uranus can also be picked up, but
or CC.
The Lapu-Lapu is the best option here.
They need damage. They need that bridge for the turtle fights.
So that should be Lapu-Lapu. And
Yuuzhan is still open.
Hylas perhaps for light.
They can go Hylas or Gaton. Kind of depends on what they want to do. Disengage or something more to fight. Good call, Wolf. Good call.
And now, if you're Alter Ego, you're going to be looking for your jungler now. Up against the Fredrin, you usually think about the Akai, right? Akai's good.
It's not bad.
Or Guinevere, actually. But what if they go Suyo? There's not much magic damage from the other sources, but apart from Harith, of course, in the early game.
But they do. but they do have a lot of CC, which is why I'm a little concerned about this, right? Does that mean that if we go for Suyo, we just have to omit, you know what, we're not going to go for the neutrals until Lords, we're looking to get advantages in lane.
Just win early, right? But they pick up the Nolan instead. So again, this is Alter Ego saying like, we got somewhere to be, guys. Let's end the game very, very fast. What do you feel about the draft for Aurora?
I think it's pretty even. There's a slight advantage for Alter Ego.
Well, what about you, Gideon?
I don't know. I think that it's a little more lopsided than that. I think that Aurora definitely is going to be slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it tight, I think mid-game it's pretty easy for them.
You know what? I'm very sorry to the stats on screen, but I legit don't care because at this point, there's something that you can't calculate, and that's the player spirit here using all their favorite heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft has finished up, this is game number 1 of this grand finals. Gonna be flying clouds. So now we're gonna be throwing it over to our casters, Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
It's time to write the first chapter in the revelation that is this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora Gaming Philippines from the upper bracket, Alter Ego from the lower, doing the nigh impossible, now stand on the grand stage.
All right, taking a look at this draft, we have a new pick, at least from last series and all of yesterday. We haven't seen Yasuke on this Nolan yet, and he's gonna bring it up in game number 1. This is all about feeling each other out in a best of 7.
But we have seen a similar pick to this, the Suyo, something that wants to go fast and something that is very Alter Ego.
And they're going down memory lane. There was a time where Nolan was in the metagame alongside Suyo. So it's clear that Coach Zephyr, Professor X's needs and foresight are coming through. Quick peek at the emblems if you plan on playing Nolan in this current metagame. There's not much really changing here. Oh, quick start mid.
Yep, just a little bit more damage over on Yue. Alec blocking the passive constantly, getting the sustain over to Hijume.
I mean, well done already. We're seeing the aggression in the mid, but still nobody goes down. Demon Kite on this Fred run. I mean, Aurora Gaming, I feel like their draft, they just keep it so simple. They keep it very Aurora Gaming PH. And if they win with this, it's a very good start from them because they don't have to change too much up. It's their style.
It's getting full from a basic breakfast or like a little glass of milk, a cup of coffee, if you will. Alter Ego, though, they're flexing how deep their hero pool goes. Could have sworn they were going to go utility as well since there is a good combo in Hijume and Alec, and then they can bank on Arfi, but Yasuke, the hero pool on this young man.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of teasing about in the pre-match, right? We were talking about how Alter Ego, they want to go fast, but Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how to play slow. They know how to slow the tempo down all the way to a point where Alter Ego makes mistakes. And already they're setting up, but look. Ooh, already Dark Wave coming in. Demon Kite taking down the Fracture, all in. But Light coming in for the re-engage. Yue pops in Crimson Beacon, able to get a Lantern Flare. Edward jumps in now with the Brave Spider. It's going to be Nino in the back line as Edward.
Yue taking a lot of damage, might just go down here.
Alec will take a few shots. Nino! With Inferno Pursuit now jumps again. Another jump forward, but now he's caught in a bad place. Has another proc of the Inferno Pursuit. Will be able to go for the jump again and again. Takes a turret shot and gets shanked by Demon Kite as Yasuke moves to the purple buff.
A speedy response from Alter Ego, just as speedy as their start was. Demon Kite with a clutch take, didn't even use Retry.
Alter Ego start things off fast. They do win out in kills. It's still the first turtle on the map, though. Yasuke tries to take a different path. Not getting that purple means they didn't get too much out of that trade.
Yep, flickers were used, and now we're jumping over Turtle 1.
Nino in the back, going in for Yue. Suzuki's going to be taken very low by Edward. He's going to go for the stun. Glorious Pathway coming down as the turtle was already secured by Demon Kite, but now it's going to be Nino all alone. Crimson Beacon and Lantern Flare picking him up. He's trying to go for the pursuit. Dark Wave by Nino. Jumps over on Edward, gets another proc, but will be slain by Edward.
Alec has to get out of here with a Tsunami Slam, looking for the escape.
Alec cannot escape. There was a lantern on him and a big horse.
A little too early for El Padre to be pushing their limits. Again, this is a Phobius. You need some modicum of items built to be able to do that.
Luckily, Yasuke, though, keeps on getting out of these fights. As long as Yasuke stands tall, they have a chance in future neutral objectives. All the games that we saw last time, when they lost, Yasuke had a bad game, so it's huge to keep him on 1-0.
You're alluding to his game on the Fanny, the clincher against SRG. I could have sworn, watching that too, we're going all the way. But here, I agree. Yasuke needs that same amount of patience. Sure, he hasn't got punished yet, hasn't died, but if you want to take it to Aurora Gaming, you have to play the slow game.
And this is the thing about the Nolan. You actually shouldn't be contesting a neutral objective early. Yes, if there are real situations where Nino can actually zone Demon Kite, then take it. But now they're going to go for the dive in the bottom lane. Alec, flicker in, Tsunami Slam, Fracture come down, and all in over on Edward. And it's a pick down below, but look at the response from Aurora Gaming. Glorious pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at this point. He's got to get out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throw down back. But again, it's Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora, but macro-wise, the trade is good. It's an XP laner for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems, no. Demon Kai has the orange buff.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump over on Alec from Edward. Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yazuke doesn't seem interested. Now is Light. Gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora. Arfi, Blazing Duet up top.
That's an ult for an ult in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against the alter ego, but not anymore because AE, they're willing to fight. A little bit of pressure, Tsunami Slam.
The lockdown now with Hijime going for the sun as well. Big bonk, Alec gonna be taking it now. Good taunt coming down as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side. It's the Inferno Pursuit to take him down as Yasuke goes in with a Helmet of Dark Wave from Nino over on Yue with the Crimson Beacon. Gets him to safety and now they go back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never shy. El Padre pushing forward. Domekite finds Yasuke, but again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Sinai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Sight does lock in for Domin Kite. In the jungle, even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
All right. In the bush, Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel situation, and all in coming out. Arfi Blazing Duet, Tsunami Slam based on a Purify. They get the kill on Doming. Onto Arfi, turtle up top though is the response from Aurora.
I don't know how worth it is to trade your gold laner for the turtle. I'm sure Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego. Plus, big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and Yue to try to get down to save it.
Trades all over, and so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to bide time till around 9-10 minutes, wait till a couple lords where they can beat you out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble. And that's why Aurora's backing off.
Nami's on the glorious pathway again. Yue able to go for Crimson Beacon, flicker out from Hijime, but it gets picked up and thrown back to the fray as Light goes in with Edward. But Alec is able to sustain. Arfi
into the backside with a Blazing Duet.
It's big bonked on him. Now the fracture coming in from Yazuki to take Domin Kite down as Nino continues to jump back and forth. Inferno Pursuit, but now it's Yue to lock him down. He goes for one last war, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls. And Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turn it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. an unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is, it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Hijume just popped like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Straight line.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Domeng on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled in that fight. He went in way too early, and now Rora's holding the turret, the Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move, the conceal from Alec.
You know, walking up at Edward, doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. The Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now look at the damage on Hijume. It's Edward in the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
You know, jumping to the back line now, trying to go for the Inferno Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Domeng, Kai, and Yue going for the damage. Domeng doing enough to take Nino down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not the aggressors, they're not the predators, they're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu, but that is what Edward is right now.
Thanks.
Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Hijume, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam into either of these carries should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I clean up?
I think the big thing for Alter Ego in past games is they're able to last it up. Wait a second.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no response from Alter Ego. Arfi taking a big portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic Aurora.
They smelled something was fishy there. No vision on Yasuke. Where is he hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel. They don't need to see Yasuke, but the fact that they don't see him
means they see him.
Should be a signal, yeah, that
they know where he's at.
They're
not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Hijume forced to use the feathered airstrike just to clear mid. As
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that Glorious Pathway. Hijume just wings by wings out.
At this point, it's a mind game from Light, dude.
And at this point, they're farming each other's purples. I think that's like the 3rd one to just go to opposite sides.
Cross-jungling.
Cross-jungling, exactly.
Light here gets that stun on Alec. Even Alec isn't having the greatest time. A majority of the targets that he can hit will either purify or would love to be in the center of Alter Ego's lineup.
All right, so taking a look at these items one more time. Yasuke's been farming his mind off, essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items up.
But him being ahead by 100 isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies and gentlemen, are significantly cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be like 1,000, 1,500 up. Because look, Demon Kite's Fredrin already has Athena Shield, Anti-Cuirass, Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is when we see the Yi Sun-Shin against a Fredrin, Nolan against a Fredrin, the splash clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well here in game number 1. Not only are they winning head-on initiations, but they're able to find resources to take away from Yasuke. Light counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the Dark Wave, landing it onto, but now Edward forced to fight. That's good. Tsunami Slam to cancel out the last portion of the Raging Slash. Big bomb from Demon Kite, and Edward cuts him down again. He's on a killing spree.
Yasuke still in the jungle, gonna try to lock on.
That ain't it. He got taunted by the demon, and Domeng takes him down.
Yue and Domeng Kite are good targets, but not when there's 2 chunky boys next to them. Make it 3. A half man, half horse.
And that's the way that Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite and Light. Because if anyone tries to catch Domeng and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the taunt comes in. The little bonk from Hylos comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this stage, in this arena, not a single game he won. And he's just moments away from correcting that historically.
4-1-6. Man is performed. Oh, wait a second. This is a classic alter ego move. Whenever the enemy gets a lord, they go to look for the pickoff, but can they take Edward down? Tsunami Slam coming down with the burst damage of Ijume, and Edward will have the immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out, and Edward does survive, and now he goes back in with a helmet Demon Kite. Meanwhile, Light on the back line with Yue, jumping in as Domeng goes for the base. What is him on force already? Yasuke getting rid of Yue, but Domeng is going to be all over the way. Yue comes in from Arthur.
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone, now against 4. He's jumping ready for a pursuit. He's so tanky, but again, he's constantly jumping in as RP does a lot of damage. Dark Wave coming in from Nino, but Domeng takes him down.
The minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
They're gonna go straight for it. No nonsense. Aurora take game 1.
Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern Lights.
Hopefully at this point some lessons were learned from both sides, but mostly from Alter Ego. If they're gonna ban the Freya, you might just have to start banning the Fredrin. You might have to respect the other team as well.
And you gotta feel for Arfi in that situation. He went Claude, he's like, all right, do I go Purify or Flicker? Why would I go Purify? The only guy that can cancel me is Demon Kite on Fredrin. And we got a Phobias, we have a Farsa, we have ways to stop him from going in, but then Demon Kite just says, yeah, nah.
What a rude awakening for last night's multiple-time MVP winner, Arfi. This is one way to realize I'm not a great marksman. I'm pretty good, but not great. What else do Alter Ego have up their sleeves?
Well, one thing's for sure, they cannot give the Claude over to Domeng.
All right. At this point, definitely don't give it a Domeng. Definitely maybe start thinking about the Fredrin. But let's see what the panel has to say about it. An amazing first game, guys.
I would say it's a perfect way to open up the grand finals. And gentlemen, the thing that I've noticed now, after the first game of this grand finals, the whole story about M7 is your identity. The teams that figure out and stick to their identity will eventually win. And those that betray themselves will start to lose. Here, Aurora, again, bringing that utility jungler looks absolutely amazing. And so far, Arfi is the best when it comes to fighters in the gold lane. I think it's still pretty good on the Claude. But again, I kind of feel like at this point, either Alter Ego really needs to respect this strat coming in from Aurora and figure out a way to deal with it, or they just got to figure out their own identity and somehow give a fighter over to Arfi.
Well, I don't think they're moving too far away from their identity. I don't know if you'll agree with me, Wolf, but I think a lot of this game just boiled down to dividing and conquering in the earlier stages of the game. But I think Light, as the point guard, making clear decisions for the rest of the team. Hey, let's stop the feathered airstrike. I saw at the peripheral vision of my minimap, Yasuke moving over to that purple buff. We can defend it if we don't waste too much time.
I will never argue against that identity of Aurora because I think it is the identity of Aurora. They actually have been so masterful with it. Maybe the only reason why this is not looking good for Alter Ego or giving it up is not good for it's not going to be good for them for the entire series is because of the fact that they can make mistakes when up against this kind of composition. For Aurora, all they have to do is to play the game as it should be played. And that's exactly what they did. They punished the side of Alter Ego when Alter Ego tries to go for an over-aggressive play. Remember the play in the bottom lane where they did get important kills, or Alter Ego did, but they eventually got traded out. Kills after kills after kills, like -1 every minute. It all becomes, it all piles up, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer in control of the game.
And look at this, the MVP by Realme, our official gaming phone. 3-1-10, it's Light coming in from Aurora, Philippines, and again, absorbing a lot of damage. And as amazing as Claude is, I actually do like the introduction of the Chastised Pauldron into the tank items, because I feel like it is an item that took a while for a lot of players to warm up to. But now you can see quite a lot of players actually don't mind rushing this item. Even if you think the opponent is not like an attack speed hero, you would be surprised against opponents that even if they don't have attack speed, it does matter a lot.
Oh, it matters so much. That passive is disgusting, especially when you have like a slight lead in the earlier stages of the game. It feels like you're unkillable. Yeah. So a lot of these moments, as we see them actually fight, right, comes down to, does Hijime have his ult or not? Can Light actually look to cancel it out? Because as soon as Hijime loses that important ultimate, Yue can do whatever he wants, right? He doesn't need his ult to be relevant in these fights.
I would even go out of my way and say that the Chastise Soul Drone was actually the reason why we have fighter gold laners right now, because they're not dependent on attack speed. And in this scenario, you're looking at this Nolan as well as this Claude. The Claude will definitely suffer from this Chastise Soul Drone. The timings was just perfect. Now, let's talk about like how do you actually implement this utility strategy coming out from Aurora. This is a box type strategy that is really good at punishing those that it can unbox. If you're looking at the composition of Alter Ego, they kind of want to go front to back with this Nolan, with this Phoebes, then eventually with this Claude, but they can also go dive. I think that Alter Ego chose to continuously dive against Aurora, and the result is they just kept getting picked off. I think their formation wasn't good enough for them to implement this kind of strategy because they are always diving into the box, the area or the zone of control of Aurora.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Light was able to be that focal point, right? Really the cornerstone to make sure that this box actually works. You're revealing one edge of it, but truly, do you see every single angle? Most of the time, it's going to be no. The best way to summarize the way the game was basically played, it's checkers, right? We're not even getting into the chess side of it yet. It's consistent trades, and eventually Aurora is able to get 2s and 3s.
And the reason why they're getting 2s and 3s and when they're just giving up 1s is because they are good at turning into heroes that that put a lot of priority, in important heroes of Alter Ego. For example, if Phoebus comes and jump into the Harriet and the Harriet doesn't have the ultimate, they immediately turn into that Phoebus. When the Claude comes in, they will drop everything that they have and they will focus on that Claude. Aurora is so good at reacting to Alter Ego to the point where Alter Ego looks like they're creating those mistakes just because of how Aurora is instantaneous with their reactions.
I really like the refinement coming in from Aurora because, again, they know how they play. They just got to make sure that it's basically perfect. And in case something does go wrong, how do you react to it? And I got to say, most of their reactions is actually from Edward. Edward made sure that no shenanigans is going to be there. You guys come in, you got to fight the Lapu.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, there's so many times where as an EXP laner, pressing buttons is the right way to go, but he's holding onto that land trigger only for the right moments, only for when the movement abilities and dashes are out. That's when he goes for the big plays, that's when he goes for the flickers.
Yeah. Now you have to think, if you are heading to game number 2, if you're Alter Ego, do you deny or ban the Frederick? So as teams have tried to solve the problem against Alter Ego, which is the Freya and the Leomord, and the only way to go about it is to just ban the Freya. You're now Alter Ego. Do you now ban the Fredrin?
I mean, like,
think about the Harith.
I'm worried because of two things. Number one is that Frederick's not there, Leomar is going to be there, and Dimikai has already shown he has a pretty mean Akai. Now, here's the thing. This is the World Championship, and our players need the best device just to make sure that everything happens smoothly. And for you guys at home, there's an extra edge for everyone. You guys get the Realme 15 Pro because, again, it has all the AI goodies, win rate predictions, analyze gold item, everything in real time, and it even have the consecutive skill function. So in case you're new to the hero, you can set your skills, and then with just one button, it can execute perfectly. Again, shout outs to the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone, for making sure they gave the very best experience to our players. You play, we carry. This is the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Beautiful design, nice and sleek, and it's got everything. Honestly, I like the size of it. Fits my hands really nicely, so I'm going to keep this in the meantime. Don't worry about it.
And now, Gideon, would you mind inviting V? Because V will like to see this grand finals. V has been here the entire time, looking very cute. So, again, thank you very much to V. Come on, let's check out this guy and see what V has to say to us.
V, but you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be shy, V. You can give it. Come on. Be brave. Be brave.
Alright, my name's V. You know, I'm from Visa, the brand that connects the whole world, like everywhere. My job's dead simple, help you pay fast, safe and proper, smart, shopping, traveling, even them little day-to-day bits. With V, you're sorted, no stress, sound that. So come on, let's crack on with a cashless life that's easier and boss.
V, I didn't know you knew Scouts. You really are an international phenomenon.
Hey, I gotta say, V sounds like he can't get knocked out, man. Something about V, like you kind of don't want to mess with him. He can be your best friend in more ways than one. He's the real MVP. Like, if someone messes with you, you're like, yo, V, you got my back, right?
Championship caliber.
Championship caliber. Shout out to Scouts as well.
Yeah, man.
Might as well, right?
If I ever get into a bar fight, I'm calling V over. He's one of my boys.
And here's the thing, if you guys want to fight, how about a 1v1, right? Because you guys can actually 1v1 with the Fairy Games app. You guys can create and host the 1v1. You guys can play and then get as much points as you can to eventually get you prizes like the M7 Tribute Rings, the MLBB Diamonds, and of course, new MLBB skins. Make sure you guys download on the App Store as well as Google Play Store and register your MLBB ID to start playing. Now, gentlemen, shout outs to all our sponsors. They're amazing friends, and you guys made this possible. And we do hope that this Grand Finals goes all the way, because even though we've seen Zephyr for like what? A better part of 2 to 3 weeks now, we've seen that he likes to adjust. Now, I really want to see how he adjusts for this one, because in that previous draft, Leo Mort was not touched at all. Not picked, not banned. I wonder if something will change around the jungle pick.
I think, I know, and now Wolf has already brought up a couple of good points about specifically having these utility junglers. I think it's less of a problem with the utility junglers, but the combination of it with this Jushin. That's why we're not seeing the Leomord in this particular matchup, because, the amount of peel that they have with just these two heroes is kind of insane. Add, sprinkle a little bit more CC, and then it becomes impossible.
Well, you know what? I think it's fine, because here's the thing, our players are playing on the secret lab chair, which make it so that they can play all 7 games here, giving amazing comfort with the ergonomic chairs trusted by the world's best MLBB teams. Whether you're enjoying a casual game with friends or representing your org and country on the M7 world stage, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support. Again, the very same kind that powers the pros, the casters, analysts, everyone here in the MLBB Pro scene.
Get yours today, maybe tomorrow. Hey, I mean, you take your time with it, because again, if you want greatness, start with the Secret Lab. Wolf, I'm curious to know, because for this upcoming game, we've seen Aurora kind of like make these small adjustments every time they play in the upper bracket. Do you think they are going to be the ones who are going to stick to their guns, or switch on over to just make sure AE is constantly on the edge?
The quick answer to that is they're going to stick with their guns until it loses, until there is a draft that Alter Ego can come up with to counteract it. I think that is the reason. The reason why that is the case is because they want to get as much points as possible, to get to that point where if they're at, let's say at match point and they already are figured out afterwards, then they employ a new strategy that hopefully Alter Ego does not solve yet. So to answer your question, until it works, they will use it.
Hey, you know what they say, right? That's how cookie crumbles in beginning, right?
That's
so
right.
As long as it still works, just keep on using it. Like, I like that mentality, because it's really on you. Because we got to remind ourselves, I would say even in a best of 5, the mental stamina is going to be tested, right? So I really feel like you got to pace yourself. You don't have to do anything unnecessary and burn out early. If you just, in a sense, just blow your load early, it makes it very difficult for you to draft later on, because then like, okay, there's just no more surprises.
I don't know, that sounds a little premature. Considering that both of these teams are truly at the top of their game, it's really trying to get as close to the edge as possible without tipping over and losing your sense of self, right? Because once you have that clarity after you make those mistakes, I think that AE now, coming into this draft, might switch things up. First of all, I think it has to start with blue side, red side.
That's right.
Can I just say, I love your linguistic ability.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Yep. You're really good at this. And then we're talking about like the adjustments coming up from Alter Ego. They have to start with the blue side for sure. But now they also will have to think about their jungle choices. I think that the idea why they chose the Nolan makes sense in a vacuum, because you need an assassin against the Jushin. You also need a hero that can outpace this Fredrin. However, the Fredrin plus the Jushin combination is such a strong combo in a way that you can only counter one and not both. If you counter the Fredrin part, then the Jushin part will just be free. And then when you try to counter the Jushin part, the Fredrin, as you saw in game number 1, will be free. So I think that the middle ground in that scenario is to go for fighters. That's why I really thought that the Suyo will be a better choice in that previous draft. Maybe a Guinevere eventually. I think that Alter Ego just have to really pick their battles, or maybe just make sure that they only have to solve one.
I would have to say something that I like about the draft coming in from Aurora or from Philippines in general is that they draft in a way where the margin of error is actually quite low. But now we have more surprises here in the MS7 World Championship. In fact, we're going to be throwing it over to the host to see, is there any more surprises for us?
Aurora Gaming Philippines takes the first blood in this best of 7 series. However, before we continue this action-packed series, we have some very exciting news to share with our MLBB fans.
We were pretty sure that everyone will love this, especially MLBB fans from Thailand. What exactly is it? Well, let's all watch this video.
ในฐานะทีมที่ได้แชมป์ไทยเยอะที่สุดมันถึงเวลาแล้วที่เราต้องมุ่งสู่ขั้นต่อไปนั่นคือการเป็นแชมป์โลกของจริง
ถ้าตั้งใจคนไทยไม่แพ้ชาติใดในโลกพวกเราจะพิสูจน์ให้เห็นในเวทีระดับโลก
อนาคตที่ยั่งยืนคือเป้าหมายของเราซึ่ง MLBB สามารถช่วยให้เราไปถึงเป้าหมายนั้นได้
พวกเราได้พิสูจน์ตัวเองแล้วพวกเราก็เป็นทีมแชมป์ในเกมโมบ้าบนมือถือได้เหมือนกันและตอนนี้พวกเราก็อยากจะเผชิญหน้ากับความท้าทายใหม่ๆไปกับ MLBB
ถ้าเพื่ออนาคตที่รออยู่ข้างหน้าต่อให้อุปสรรคจะถาโถมเข้ามาแบบไหนพวกเราก็ไม่หวั่น
จงกล้าในวันที่คนอื่นกลัวการที่เราเป็นผู้บุกเบิกสิ่งใหม่แม้มันอาจจะยากแต่มันคือโอกาสที่ประเมินค่าไม่ได้
อย่างที่รู้กันพวกเราคือทีมแห่งโอกาสและในเมื่อมีโอกาสใหม่ๆเข้ามาพวกเราก็ยินดีรับมันไว้
โอกาสจะมาถึงมือคนที่ไม่ยอมแพ้เท่านั้นและโอกาสที่ว่านั้นก็ได้มาถึงมือพวกเราแล้ว
MLBB คือเกมที่จะพาประเทศไทยไปสู่ระดับโลกได้อย่างแท้จริงการันตีด้วยยอดผู้เล่นกว่า 1,500 ล้านคนในมากกว่า 200 ภูมิภาคและประเทศทั่วโลกแถมยังมียอดเข้าชมการแข่งขันอีสปอร์ตบนมือถือพร้อมกันมากที่สุดในโลกประจำปี 2025 ถึง 4,100,000 วิวและถูกเสนอชื่อเข้าชิงรางวัลในรายการ The eSport Award และ The Game Award ถึง 2 ปีซ้อนประเทศไทยพร้อมลุยแล้วร่วมประกาศศักดาของไทยให้ทั้งโลกได้เห็นกัน
And there you guys have it. A new regional tournament is officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Super League Thailand launches this year.
This league will feature 10 elite teams composed of 8 established Thai powerhouses and 2 teams from open qualifiers.
And Glenn, I actually heard that some of the MSL Thailand representatives are here in the arena with us watching the M7, and I cannot wait to see them in action. Also guys, for your information, MSL Thailand directly connects the region to the global MLBB ecosystem, as their champions will have a slot in the MSC 2026 wildcards.
This is a huge note for Thailand's legacy in MLBB that began with their victory at the first MLBB International Championship in MSC 2017.
Yes, sir. Now don't forget to tune in to MSL Thailand as the open qualifiers begin in March. For now, let's continue on our Best of 7 series. Let the world see us.
Yes, sir, dude! Oh boy, really excited to have Thailand here with everybody else. And more importantly, LaFell, we witnessed it from the very beginning, right? All the way from MSC and now reintroducing this previous legacy region back to the modern age.
All right, just to confirm. All right, I can hear my voice. That's perfect. And yes,